Okay. So in yesterday's class, we discussed about what is database, what are the types of databases, and what is DBMS. Okay, what is RDBMS? So this is what we discussed. What are the RDBMS features, RDBMS softwares. Okay. Then, so every organization stores data. For storing the data, what is required? Database is required. For storing the data, they need to maintain what? Database. But to maintain this database, we need a software. What that software is? DBMS software. And there are number of DBMS available. So there are different types of DBMS available. But at present, which DBMS is used? Currently in use RDBMS. Okay, na? RDBMS. So there are number of RDBMS available in the market. So which DBMS we are going to use? Which RDBMS we are going to use? SQL Server. SQL Server. Okay, na? Then now, just one more is there. What is that is? Then ORDBMS. What is left? ORDBMS is left. Then, so what is ORDBMS stands for? Object Relational DBMS. Okay, na? Database Management System. Object Relational DBMS. No. So, and we can say what DBMS is. Okay, what DBMS is combination of RDBMS and OOPS. Okay, na? RDBMS is combination of RDBMS and OOPS. That means RDBMS is equal to RDBMS plus OOPS. Okay, RDBMS is equal to RDBMS plus OOPS. So two concepts are combined and released a new DBMS. Which two concepts are combined? RDBMS concepts and OOPS concepts. So they combine these two concepts, released a new DBMS called RDBMS. So this is the like combination. Now, so what is the main concept of OOPS? Okay, what is the main concept of OOPS? Actually, OOPS is introduced because of two. OOPS is introduced because of two. OOPS introduced for two reasons. What is that is? One is what, sir? Security. Another one, reusability. These are the two main concepts of OOPS. Security and reusability is the concept of OOPS. Okay, now? Then, so OOPS concept is introduced for these two reasons, for security and for reusability. So, like, but here, security is not taken. In RDBMS, they were not taken security from OOPS because RDBMS provides security. RDBMS provides what, sir? Security. In yesterday's class, I given that RDBMS features. RDBMS provides what? more security. So security is not taken from OOPS. What is taken from OOPS is reusability is taken. We don't need security because RDBMS provides what? Security. So that's why security is not taken. What is taken from OOPS is reusability is taken. Okay, na? Then. Now, what the difference is? RDBMS doesn't support reusability. RDBMS doesn't support reusability, but ORDBMS supports reusability. This is the main difference. That's all. It's not completely different. Just some concepts are added. That concepts are related to OOPS, and what concept is added is reusability concept is added. Now, so that is the only difference. RDBMS doesn't support reusability. ORDBMS supports what, sir? Reusability. Okay, then. But how it supports reusability, we'll see that. After going to the practicals, we'll see how it supports reusability. So, what are the ORDBMS softwares means? What software support this ORDBMS features? What software support this reusability features? Okay, then SQL Server supports ORDBMS features. Oracle supports ORDBMS features. Okay, SQL Server supports and Oracle supports. There are a number of like PostgreSQL supports. All this supports what? ORDBMS features. Okay, now that it's not completely different. So it is an extension to RDBMS. RDBMS concepts are extended. Some new concepts are added, and the new concepts are related to OOPS. What is that concept is added? Reusability. Okay, then. So SQL Server supports ORDBMS. Oracle supports ORDBMS features. PostgreSQL supports ORDBMS features like that. Okay, then. That's all. Okay, now? No. So, and this knowledge is enough before we start actual SQL Server. Okay, na? So, in this, and what you learnt here, what's it? Database. What is database? What is DBMS? You learned what is RDBMS and what is ORDBMS. This is what you learned. This knowledge is enough before we start the actual SQL Server. Okay, na? Then. And now, so then SQL Server. If I ask you what is SQL Server means? No. I'm asking what is SQL Server? Let's see this. What is SQL Server means? Huh? SQL Server is what? Not query language. You are all saying, okay, na? So you're giving answers. What is SQL means? I'm not asking what is SQL. I'm asking what is SQL Server. Be clear. SQL Server is different. SQL is different. You have to answer. SQL Server is basically RDBMS product from Microsoft. SQL Server is basically RDBMS product from Microsoft and also supports the features of RDBMS. It supports the features of RDBMS also. So basically RDBMS and also support the features of RDBMS, and which is used to create and to manage database. What for the software is used? The software is used to create and to manage database. So in this system, if you want to create the database, if you want to work with the database, you need a software like what? SQL Server. So this is mainly for creating the database and work with the database. Managing, working means managing. Okay, na? Then, so answer is SQL Server is basically a RDBMS product from Microsoft and also supports RDBMS features and use it to create and to manage database. Okay, then. Okay, na? Then. So in real time, okay, na? SQL Server is used for what? For in real time projects, SQL Server is used for what? SQL Server is used for database what's it? Development and what's it? Administration. It is used for database development, used for database administration. Then, so use it for development and use it for administration. Now, so then we can use it for development and we can also use it for administration purpose. So question is, what is the difference between these two? Okay, what is development? What is administration? Like that. Okay, so then, like once again, suppose for example, after completing this course, after completing SQL Server, you can become a developer or you can become a DBA. You can become a WhatsApp developer or you can become a DBA. DBA means database admin. Database admin. Developer, DBA. So there are two roles. SQL Server, there are two. One is development, another one administration. So you can become developer, you can become DBA. SQL Server developers are there, SQL Server DBAs. For every company requires what? Every company requires SQL Server developers, SQL Server DBAs. What is the difference? Okay, na? What are the day-to-day activities of developer? What are the day-to-day activities of DBA? Every day, developer is involved in what? DBA is involved in what? If you go to banks, there will be two, clerk, manager. Clerk and manager both are same? No. Clerk responsibilities are different. Manager responsibilities are different. Similarly, here also, developer is different. DBA is what, sir? Different. So tell me, suppose you are using SQL Server. You are using SQL Server. In database, how you store the data? Okay, na? Suppose I am using SQL Server. So in database, how you store the data? Sir, here answer is simple. SQL Server is what? SQL Server is basically RDBMS. In RDBMS, how you store the data? In the form of tables. Yesterday we discussed it in the form of tables. That means here, like in SQL Server database also, data stored in the form of tables. Who create the tables? Who create the tables? Developer. One of the activities creating what? Creating tables. Developer is involved in what, sir? Creating the tables. Okay, then creating tables. You know, na? Like yesterday I shown customer table that contains rows and columns. So who create the tables? Developer. Developer create the tables. Okay, then. So you may think, sir, what is there in that? But actually, see, if you take, for example, Tata Motors maintains a database. Their database contains 2000 tables. Tata Motors maintains one database. Their database contains what? 2000 tables. Who creates all these 2000 tables? Developers. Not one developer, maybe group of developers. Creating tables. Next one, what's it? Creating what? Views. But you don't know this. You'll be learning this. You join for this learning. You join for this to learn this. Creating tables, creating views, creating what? Synonyms, and creating, okay, then sequences, and creating indexes. Creating procedures, creating functions, creating triggers, writing queries. These are the day-to-day activities of developer. Okay, then creating tables, creating views, creating synonyms, sequence, index, procedures, functions, triggers, writing queries. Okay, now you don't know all this, but you will be learning. In this class, you will be learning all this. Okay, na? Now. Now. Next one. So, like next, what is this DBA is? Okay, na? Then what are the activities of DBA? If you join as a developer, your activities are this. Every day you are involved in this. You joined as a what, sir? SQL Server DBA. What are your activities? So, like one is first one. In the system, I install SQL Server. In the system, I install SQL Server. Okay, na? In your laptop, you can install SQL Server. I'll show that how to install. So in your laptop, you can install. In my laptop, I can install like that. But if we go to companies, in companies, we use PCs. What we use? PC, personal computers. But in companies, they use network. In companies, they use what? Network. Because in companies, group of developers work with same project, same database. So they use what's it? Network. In network, who install SQL Server? They use network, LAN network. In that network, who install SQL Server? We install SQL Server? DBA. Okay, na? What DBA must know? DBA must know installation of what's it? SQL Server. Okay, na? Installation of SQL Server. So in companies, they use network. In network, like we install SQL Server, DBA. Okay, now, like you see that in the companies nowadays, maximum developers are working from home. Yes or no? They will be sitting at different places, but they work with what's that? Same database. not different databases. They work with what? Same database. Okay, na? Then in this network, we install SQL Server, DBA, database admin must know installation of SQL Server. Okay. Next, after installing, sir, this is the system. This is the system. In this system, he install what? SQL Server. He install SQL Server. After installing SQL Server, what the system is called? The system is called what? Server. The system is called server. Okay, na? So here server means, don't think something else. Server means server is a system, a computer where SQL Server software is installed and running. Server is a system, computer where SQL Server software is installed and running. That system is called server. If SQL Server software is installed in your laptop can be called as server. Your SQL Server is installed in this computer. This computer can be called as server. Okay, na? Then where SQL Server software is installed. So that is called server. And inside the server, using this SQL Server software, DBA creates what, sir? Database. Understood, na? So, like, listen, inside the server, using SQL Server software, DBA creates what, sir? Database. He creates a database for the new project. Suppose one project is started, and for that project, they need a database. Then DBA will create one database. He creates a database. Suppose the project is sales project. He creates one database. The database is called sales database. Got it? Then, so he creates a database. Then what DBA must know? Another activity is what? Creating database. Creating database. Install the SQL Server software. After installing SQL Server software, inside the server, create what, sir? Database for the new project. The new project is sales project. Create one database, sales database. Okay, then. Now, okay. So what is ready? Server is ready. Database is also ready. Server is ready. Database is ready. So suppose here, some developers are assigned to this new project. Some developers are what, sir? Assigned to this new project. What this is? Developer 1 and developer 2. So there are 2 developers assigned to this new project, and every day these developers have to work with this database. They have to work with the database, and to work with this database every day, these developers have to connect to server. The developers have to connect to server. Yes or no? Okay, na? So developer is having a laptop, and using that laptop, he'll connect to server. And developer 2 also is having a laptop. So using that laptop, he connects to server. Every day, these developers have to connect to the server, and they have to work with database. But to connect to the server, what is required? Okay, na? If you want to connect to SQL Server, what is required? So to connect to SQL Server, what is required is login and password. Yesterday I have shown. Okay, na? What is required? Login and password. Using that login and password, so they will connect to the server. Yes or no? Then who create the logins for developers? You joined as you are a developer. You joined in a company. Then what? Who create the login for you? DBA. DBA will create a login for developers. Okay. Then so another activity is like what? Another one is what, sir? Creating logins. Now, so server is ready. Inside the server, database is ready. So developers are also joined. Then create the login for the developers. So that using that login, Every day they connect to server and work with what, sir? Database. Now let's see here. See this here. Login. Next one. Password. Login, password. Okay, na? Then okay. Next, then after this, after creating these logins, okay. Next, so sir, actually, and these developers are working since, like they are working since 2 months. They are working. Okay, na? Developer 1, developer 2, they are working since 2 months. They created some number of tables. They created some number of tables. They created some 100 tables, where all the 100 tables are there. What, boss? What I'm saying, listen, developers are working since 1 or 2 months. They are working. Okay, na? Then they created some tables. Okay, na? They created 100 tables, where all the 100 tables are there. Database. Where the tables are there? What? Database. 100 tables are there in database. Since 1 or 2 months they are working, all 100 tables are there in database. Next day, developer went to the office. He found that database is gone. Database is gone. Database is corrupted. Due to some reason, database is what, sir? Gone. Sometimes files will be corrupted, no? Like that, database is also gone, corrupted. Then he created 100 tables. All the 100 tables are gone. Yes. Yes or no? Then again, what he has to do? He has to recreate. Again, it takes, suppose, 1 month time. Again, he has to spend another 1 month. Yes or no? But in real time, it will not be there. Why? Because like what DBA will do, DBA will regularly maintain backups. DBA will regularly take what, sir? Backup. Okay, na? This situation will not be there in the real time, because in real time DBA will regularly take what? Backup. So what is backup means? Suppose this is the database, then what DBA will do? So this database is copied to one backup file. This database is copied to one backup file. Okay, na? This database is copied to one file. What that file is called? Backup file. Okay, then so now, like suppose here one certificate is there. Okay, na? Then what PAN card is there. That is important. Like suppose Aadhaar card, PAN card is important. Then what you do? You keep one Xerox copy. Okay, na? So even if you lost Aadhaar card, so if you have Xerox copy, then that number will be there. You can get the original copy. Yes or no? So same thing here also. Suppose this database is what, sir? Okay, na? You found that database is gone. If the database is gone, you contact DBA. You are the developer. So you found that database is gone. Then you contact what? DBA. Within 2 minutes, you'll recover the database. You'll recover the database from where? Backup file. Okay, na? Recovering the database from backup is called restore. Recovering the database from backup is called restore. So who must know this? Taking the backup, restoring? DBA. Then database, what's it? Like taking database backup and restore. Okay, then so database backup and restore. Okay. Next. Okay, na? Now next, suppose here that, like for example, okay, for example, then so like developers developed the database. Okay, na? Developers developed the database. They developed the database for some client. Yes or no? We work for some clients. Yes or no? So developers developed the database for some client, but where is that client? That client is there in America. That is US client. You develop a database for some US client. Now at present, where is the database? Where is the database? Server only. But where this server is there? The server is there in India. Now you have to move this database to a server in America. Yes or no? That means you want to move the database from one place to another place. One server to another server. So moving the database from one place to another place, one server to another server, that is called export and import. What that is called? Export and import. Like we move the goods from one country to another country. Na? Similarly, database is also moved from one place to another place, one server to another server. What is that is called? That is called database export and import. Who must know this? DBA. Then database what? Export and import. Okay, then next, suppose yet, sir, one client is using SQL Server 2005. SQL Server 2005. It is old version, or is using 2008. 8 is also old version. Now you want to switch to latest version. Actually was using what? Old version. Now he decided to switch to latest version, SQL Server 2019. Latest is one, SQL Server 2019. So you want to switch from old version to the latest version. Then, and what is this is called? This is called upgradation. What this is called? Upgradation. Okay, na? Upgradation means switching from old version to the latest version. Like we buy mobile phones. Suppose our phone is what? Old phone. Then we'll buy what? A new one. Yes or no? Similarly, here also, then they switch from old version to the latest version. That is called upgradation, upgrading. Next, one client is using MySQL. One client is using what, sir? MySQL. MySQL is also one database like SQL Server. Okay, na? These are all one softwares. MySQL is one database, but he wants to actually was using MySQL. Now he want to switch to SQL Server. Sir, understood, na? Is using what? MySQL software. Now you want to switch to SQL Server. What is this is called? This is called what, sir? Migration. What is this is called? This is called upgradation. Okay, na? Then who must know this? DBA. So database what? Upgradation and migration. Okay, then next, suppose, okay, then, and for example, okay, na? You understood, na? These points. Like suppose for example, you went to ATM, you want to check, you are doing balance inquiry. Okay, na? From ATM you are doing what, sir? Balance inquiry. You select the option balance inquiry, you enter PIN number, etc. But system is taking half an hour time to show the balance. It is taking half an hour time to show the balance. Will you wait for half an hour? No, you cancel it and you go to next ATM, or you try after some time. Yes or no? Similarly, users are, you are sending a request to SQL Server. You are sending a request to SQL Server. What request you send to SQL Server? What request you send to SQL server. That's all here, no confusion. What request you send to SQL server? Mainly 4. Create, read, update, delete. Create the data, read the data, update the data, delete the data. You give request to SQL server to update the data in database. You give the request to SQL server to delete the data from database, to create the data, to read the data. Always remember this 4. Create, read, update, delete. So you send request to SQL server for updating the data, but SQL server taking half an hour time to update the data. So tell me, users will wait for half an hour? No. Okay, na? They can't wait for what, sir? Half an hour. So like for example, sir, here I go to amazon.in. I'm typing amazon.in. Suppose I'm getting this home page within seconds or fraction of seconds. I'm getting the home page. If it takes half an hour time, will you go to Amazon website? No. Okay, na? Same thing. So if SQL server is taking more time to run, more time to respond, then DBA will do something to make it run faster. SQL server is taking what, sir? More time. Then DBA will do something to make it run faster. What is that is called? That is called performance tuning. What is that is called? Performance tuning. So SQL server performance is what, sir? Low. SQL server performance is what? Low. You need to improve the performance. Improving the performance is called performance tuning. Tuning means improving. Tuning means improving. Improving performance is called performance tuning. Okay, then that's all. These are the what? These are the activities of what, sir? DBA. These are the activities of developer. So developer is every day involved in this, and DBA is involved in this. Okay, na? So in this course, this will be covered in depth, no doubt. But maximum will cover only this, but they don't cover this. But in this class, okay, na? In this class, after completing this course, you will be learning how to create WhatsApp database, how to create logins, how to take backups and restore, how to export and import, and you'll be learning some performance tuning techniques also. So that means these topics also will be covered. We'll be learning how to take backups, how to restore, how to export and import, how to do performance tuning. Okay, na? Then, so there is a tool used for performance tuning, SQL Profiler. Okay, na? Then the others will not cover that. Okay, na? But here I'll be covering SQL Profiler. Okay, so that is used for performance tuning, a tool. Then, okay, so this is the activities of what? Developer in DBA. Now, so then next, what are the versions of WhatsApp? SQL server. Versions of SQL server. Okay, then so like suppose now war is going on, yes or no? Russia, Ukraine. Okay, na? So in Ukraine, buildings are collapsed. So assume that is a bank building. Then, so if building is collapsed, server is collapsed or not? If server is collapsed, database is collapsed or not? Yes. Then if they don't have the backup, then if they don't have the backup, then what? Customer data is lost or not? Yes. Okay. Na? After war is finished, then customers will go to bank and they'll ask, sir, my balance is 1 crore. Then they have to give 1 crore. Yes or no? Okay. Na? No. So that is why for companies, what is most important is data is most important. If data is gone, then company has to shut down. Okay. Then. So that is why to protect from failures, every company what maintains backups. Okay. Then. Then. Okay. So now, like, what are these versions of what SQL Server? Then. But you can't write this because there is a big list. Okay. Na? Then. So like you just write, I'll show that how to write this. Then version 1.1 released in what's that? 1991. Okay. Na? Version 1.1 is released in 91. 4.2 is released in 93. I think you are not born. Huh? Born, na? Oh, okay. No. Okay. Then 6, 95. Then 7, 2000. What the latest is 2019. SQL Server 2019. Okay. Na? Then. So this is versions plus in which year these versions are released. You just write like, okay. Then what are the versions means? You just write like what 2000, what's it? Like, okay. Then, so 2000, next you write it from this. Okay. Na? Because it is became popular from this version. SQL Server became popular from 2000 onwards. 2000, 2005 and 2000, what's that? 8, 2012, 2014, 16, 17, 19. What is the difference between one version to another version? One version to another version. Redmi 10, Redmi 11. Yes or no? They're all what versions only. What is the difference is features. Some extra features are added. 2016 is there. Some extra features are added, released 2017. Some extra features are added, released 2019. Like that. One to another one, some extra features are added. So then, so in SQL Server 2016, okay, na? What features introduced means polybase, JSON, temporal tables, dynamic data masking. So these features introduced in SQL Server 2016. Okay, na? SQL Server 2016. And what is introduced in SQL Server 2017? Identity cache, new string functions, automatic tuning. Okay, na? And then earlier, what's that? Manual tuning. Manual tuning means, just now I discussed performance tuning. Performance tuning should be done by DBA. DBA will do that performance tuning. Now one is introduced in 2017. What is that? Is automatic tuning. That means SQL Server will do that. Automatic means SQL Server will do the tuning automatically. Okay. Then So just focus on last three enough, because in interviews if they ask, they'll ask only what's that last three. Last three means 19, 17, 16, like that. Then then and notes also, for the notes they create Google Classroom. I'll add the notes to the Google Classroom. You can download it. Okay, na? But not created, they will create it. Just 1 or 2 days they'll create. Okay, then okay, na? Then but we'll see that what is like polybase, what is JSON, what is temporal tables. Next one, what is identity cache, what are the functions introduced. Okay, then we'll discuss, but I given the list. Then okay, na? Now so then, but you install what's it, you install SQL Server 2019 or 2017, okay, na? Or 2016 or 14, whatever. Okay, then so you install anything, you install any version. Okay, if your OS is Windows 10, then install what's our SQL Server 2019. Your OS is Windows 10. Then so, but after installing SQL Server, okay, na? After installing SQL Server, what is installed? Okay, na? Then so for that, what we need to discuss is, we need to discuss client server what architecture. Okay, then we need to discuss client server architecture. Then client server. There will be, okay, there are two here. What are the two? One is what, sir? First, server, then client. Server, client. There are two, server and client. What is server? What is client? Okay, then just now we discussed, we already discussed what is server is. What I said then. So if any new project is started, and what DBA will do? DBA will take one computer, a high, okay na, then high range computer, okay na, that is having what's it, like more memory, more processor speed, okay. Then so he'll take one computer. In this computer he install what? SQL server. Install SQL server. After installing SQL server, what this computer is called? This computer is called server. This computer is called server. Next, inside the server, using SQL server software, and DBA creates what, sir? Database. So the DBA creates what? Database. That means this database is managed by SQL server. SQL server software manages what? Database. Then this is server. Okay, na? Can we directly sit in front of the server and work with the database? Can we directly sit in front of the server and work with the database? You understood my point? This is the server, na? So can you directly sit in front of the server and work with the database? No, not possible, not practical. Server is there in Singapore. Okay, na? Assume server is there in what, sir? Singapore. So like assume bank server. Bank server is there in Singapore. So are you going to Singapore to do the money transaction? No. What you go to? You go to what, sir? ATM. You go to ATM. So through ATM you are doing the transaction. That means ATM machine is connected to server. That ATM machine is connected to server, but we use ATM machine. Using that ATM machine, we are doing the transaction. Yes. Gmail server is there in America. Are you going to America to send to receive emails? No. So we are using our like laptop or desktop. Then open what's that? Gmail website. Connect to the Gmail server. Then send and receive what's that? Emails. Yes or no? Okay, na? Then. So what is this? In case of bank, what is the ATM is called? Client. What is ATM is called? Client. In case of Gmail, what is your laptop is desktop is called? Client. So we don't directly work with servers. That is not possible. That is not allowed also. Okay, na? Then we use another computer. What is that computer? We use another computer. What is that computer is called? Client computer. And using this client computer, then what we do? Using this client computer, and every day you connect to server. Using this client computer, you connect to the server, submit the request, and receive the response. Okay, na? So from ATM, you submit the request to bank server. What is the request? The request might be withdraw, deposit, balance inquiry, and you receive the response. Yes or no? Then. So like this is to server and client. In SQL server environment, SQL server environment, there will be two. One is server, one is client. Server and client. Okay, na? Then. So suppose here, if you want to connect to Gmail server in your laptop, what should be installed? To connect to the Gmail server in your laptop, what should be there? Gmail should be there. What is Gmail? Sir, listen my point. What I'm asking is to connect to the Gmail server. Gmail server is there in America. From your laptop, you want to connect to the Gmail server. To connect to the Gmail server, then tell me what you do. Open what, sir? Google Chrome. Open Google Chrome. What is Google Chrome? Browser. What is Google Chrome? Browser. It is a browser. So it is a browser. That means using this tool, you are connecting to Gmail server. Yes or no? Only computer is enough? No. Inside the computer, one browser should be there. Yes. Okay, na? Then only ATM machine is enough? No. Inside the ATM machine, they have to install some software or not? Yes. That software will ask your account number, PIN number, amount, etc. Yes or no? Some software should be installed. Like that. So to connect to the SQL server, inside this client, some software should be installed. Some tool should be installed. What the tool is? SSMS. What the tool? SSMS tool should be installed. Okay, na? Then, so in case of Gmail, in your computer, in your laptop, so browser should be there. Like to connect to the SQL server software inside the client computer, what should be there? SSMS tool should be there. What is SSMS stands for? SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio. I'll give that. What is server? What is client? I'll give that. That. Okay. Now, then. So, what is server is? Like what? Server is a what, sir? System. System means computer. System means what? A computer. High configuration computer is a system where what? SQL Server software is installed and running. Okay, na? Yes, server is a system where SQL Server software is installed and running. Okay, na? Then next, and inside the server, inside the server SQL Server manages what, sir? SQL Server manages what? SQL Server manages database. Inside the server, SQL Server manages database. Okay, na? Then next one. What is the next? Client. Again, what is client? Client is a system. Client is a system. Client is a system where what's it? Users can. Client is a system where users can one what? Connects to server. Next, submit request to server, receives response from server. Client is a system where users can connect to the server, submit the request to server, receives response from server. Okay, na? Then Ah. So inside the client computer, what is installed? Inside the client computer, what is installed? SSMS tool is installed. Inside the client, what is installed is SSMS tool is installed. Okay, then. So next, what is the client tool? What is the client tool? Client tool means the tool installed in client computer. SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. Sir, okay now? No. So, like where SQL Server software is installed, what that computer is called? Server. Where SSMS is installed, what that computer is called? Client. Okay, then. But here in this computer, this is acting as server and client. This is acting as what? Server and client. Because I'm using this for training purpose. I'm not using this for development purpose. I'm using this for training purpose because I need only one computer. Yes or no? I got only one computer. In this computer only SQL Server software is installed plus SSMS tool is also installed in the same computer. That means this is acting as what? Server and client. But if we go to companies, real-time projects, then what they do in the real-time projects, okay, na? There will be one system. What is the system? There will be one system. What the system is? Server. This is server. Okay, na? Inside the server, they install what, sir? SQL Server. And this SQL Server manages what? Database. Database. Okay, then. So, and this is one developer. This is developer 1. This is developer 2 laptop. This is developer 3 laptop. All these developers are working from home. Okay, na? So suppose due to this COVID, they're working from home. And in developer, all these developer laptops are connected to server. So they connect to the server. Okay, na? Then next, and in this developer laptop, is SQL Server software is installed in developer laptop? No. What is installed is SSMS tool is installed in developer laptop. Here also one SSMS tool is installed in developer laptops. Okay, na? So what is the system is called? These developer laptops are called client. Okay, na? Then. So every day using this SSMS tool, they connect to what, sir? SQL Server. They work with database. Okay, na? Then. That's all. Understood? Then. But here, because here I am using what? I have only one system. Yes or no? I don't have two systems, multiple systems. I have given only one system is given to me. So that's why what I am doing, I install what, sir? Both. SQL Server is installed in same computer. SSMS is also installed in same computer. So that's why this is called server and client. Okay, then understood now. But in the next class, I'll discuss how to download, how to install, what you have to download, how to download, what is the step-by-step installation. I'll discuss in the next class. Today, actually, there is some problem with this connection. That's why I started late. Okay, now? Then. Okay, once again, just a minute. I'll send a message. Oh. Oh. ప్రస్తుతం వెస్ట్. ఓకేనా? ఎంఎస్బిఏ ఉండదు ఫ్యూచర్లో. ఎడ్యూ డేటా ఇంజనీరింగ్ అని చెప్పాను కదా, అది ఉంటుంది. ఓకేనా? ఎంఎస్బిఏ నాన్ క్లౌడ్. ఓకేనా? ఎడ్యూ డేటా ఇంజనీరింగ్ క్లౌడ్ అది. సో నాన్ క్లౌడ్ ఉండవు, ఇక అంతా క్లౌడే ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, డోంట్ లెర్న్ ఎంఎస్బిఐ, బెటర్ టు లెర్న్ అది ఎడ్యూ డేటా ఇంజనీరింగ్, ఏడిఎఫ్. మళ్ళీ ఇన్ని నేర్చుకోలేవు నువ్వు. ఇన్ని నేర్చుకుంటే ఏమవుతుందంటే నీకే కష్టం అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా? ఏదర్ ఒకటే. ఇప్పుడు ఎడ్యూ డేటా ఇంజనీరింగ్ జాయిన్ అయ్యాను అనుకో, ఎడ్యూ ఎస్క్యూఎల్ కూడా కవర్ అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా? లేకపోతే అదొక్కటే నేర్చుకోవచ్చు, ఎడ్యూ ఎస్క్యూఎల్ ఓన్లీ. ఎడ్యూ డేటా ఇంజనీరింగ్ నేర్చుకుంటే ఏమవుతుందంటే చాలా ఆపర్చునిటీస్ ఉంటాయి. materials will be given. Okay na? Payment details also will be sent to you. Okay na? Payment details also will be sent to you, so you don't need to worry about that. They will send it, like materials will be added to the Google Classroom. Okay na? Then okay, then sir, actually I'm not talking to this, I'm talking to someone. Okay na? That's why I'm talking in Telugu. Okay, then okay, then okay guys, bye, see you tomorrow. There is no last date for payment. You don't need to worry about that. They will take care of. Naresh will contact you. Okay na? You don't need to contact for payment. They will contact. Okay guys.